we're back, everyone. Now you gotta all pay attention because the following guest is about to give us information we never pay attention to. Joining us now is attorney Maria Alaimo, who specializes in workers' compensation, Social Security disability, real estate, wills, and estate administration. Maria is going to inform us on the importance of having a will and other estate planning documents all in order. And I'm sure a lot of you don't, such as myself. Maria, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Yanna, for having me today.
My pleasure. You know, I mean, you're an honorary Greek because Maria happens to be, everyone, Andrew Lattis's business partner. They have a wonderful law practice right on 31st Street in Astoria and Ditmars.
As the Greeks would say, una faccia, una razza.
That's right. She's Italian, but she's like a Greek to us. Maria, there's so many things that we're not aware of that are important. And I'd like to start with getting injured while you're at work because people don't really know what to do. And a lot of us work, everyone kind of works paycheck to paycheck in New York. That's the latest studies. That's what it shows. What is your advice to people who get injured on the job?
Well, the first thing they must do is give notice to their employer, their supervisor. Because what happens is that people get injured, they're embarrassed to say anything, they think that the pain is going to go away, and they keep fighting it. And then when they finally do tell their employer, there's issues. And the case ends up getting disputed by the insurance companies. So the best thing to do is once you're injured, go over to your supervisor, tell them, I injured my back, if you in fact hurt your back. Not just say, I have pain in my back, because you could have gotten that pain from home lifting a box. You have to specifically indicate that you were injured on the job and state the injuries. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then go immediately to the doctor or the hospital and give a history of exactly what happened. Again, don't just say pain in the back, because that could have happened anywhere.
Right.
Say, I was lifting a box at work and I injured my back.
Exactly. And so what happens if you're out of work and you really don't know what to do, how to compensate your salary when you're out of work?
Well, you need to contact an attorney to help facilitate the process. They will file the claim on your behalf, and then your job is to go to the doctor, preferably a doctor that accepts workers' compensation, because they know how to fill out the reports. Once that's done, you should be receiving benefits within 2 weeks after you stop working. And basically, as long as your doctor is indicating that you have a disability, you can get up to 2/3 of your average weekly wage with a cap. So if you were earning about $600 a week gross, you will be getting about $400 a week tax-free.
Mm-hmm. And so what people don't also understand is that the companies have insurance for this.
Yes, yes, it's not a lawsuit. All employers in New York State, if they have at least one employee, have to maintain New York State workers' compensation insurance. If they don't, they can get stiff penalties.
Wow, okay, so don't feel bad if you get injured on the job. Go right away to your supervisor, as Maria's saying, and tell them, hey, I got hurt doing this. It's very important, and then go right to a doctor.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. Now let's go to another topic. Injuries out of work. So what if you get hurt somewhere walking down the street or get hit by a car as you have a personal injury to yourself? Does it work the same way? Do you go to an attorney right away?
Yes, absolutely. And in conjunction with a workers' compensation case, if you contemplate that you're going to be out of work at least 1 year, and you've been at least out of work for 6 months, you can file for Social Security disability benefits. Now, you have to have paid into the Social Security system, pay your taxes, and you must have worked at least 5 of the last 10 years.
So we all have that taken out of our paycheck, and I'm sure if you guys go onto your paycheck, you can see that there are certain things that are taken out of your paycheck, and one of those is Social Security disability.
Yes, and you could go to the Social Security office and see if you're even eligible. If you've paid enough into the system.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. That's amazing information for a lot of these people that are injured. They stay home, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, you don't realize there's benefits out there for you.
Now, what if you're injured and you have to stay out? I mean, there's fear of losing your job, and sometimes people do lose their job. Is that against the law?
Listen, most employment is at will. So if your employer needs to fill the position, they can terminate you. But they're not supposed to terminate you because of your disability. And if you believe that you've been terminated because of your disability, then you can file a lawsuit.
Right. Okay. Well, see, a lot of stuff that people don't really know about. Let's move on to wills and estates, because people don't realize that life is so unpredictable. And also, it's important for us as children to our to our parents to help guide our parents to protect the family with their wills and the estates.
Yes. Well, in New York State, if you don't have a will, the state dictates who gets your money and your real property.
Oh my God.
So people that you might never have expected to end up with your money, the money that you worked hard for, could end up in the hands of people you really don't want it to end up with.
So what do you suggest to our audience to do?
Well, the benefits of having a will, everyone should have a will, so you can ensure it's your last chance to have any control over your life after death.
And protect,
yes,
exactly.
So you want to have a will so you can just make sure that the people you want to receive will eventually get your estate. You want the ability to appoint an executor who's the person that would be responsible upon your death to file the paperwork with the court, to hire an attorney, hire the proper accountants so they can collect the assets, pay all the debts of the estate, pay the taxes, and then finally make distribution to the beneficiaries of your estate.
Right.
Another reason you would want a will is if you have children that are minors, you want to appoint a guardian for your children, someone that your children would be happy being raised by once you're gone. It may not necessarily be your parents because they're elderly. And if you don't have a will, the grandparents have they get the first right, and then aunts and uncles. And there may be a mother-in-law that you don't want to have have your children be cared for by them. If you
it's a tough situation. People don't like to talk about this. They're like, why are we talking about this? Because life is unpredictable and everybody needs to be prepared to protect the family.
Believe it or not, most young couples, that's what keeps them from having a will. Not because they have any issues of each other getting their money, but they don't know what to do with the children. And it's a very, very, it's a topic that can cause a lot of friction between two couples. Like, does the kid go to his side of the family, or is it going to be raised by her mother? It's a source of contention.
You know what's funny? And people don't want to, people don't want to get into this so early on. But what is your advice to new couples that are just buying homes and having families? What age is a good age to think about creating their will and estate?
The minute you have a child.
People don't know that.
Yeah, the minute you have a child, you're responsible for another, besides your money and your real estate, your child is your most precious asset. What are you going to do with this child? God forbid something happens to you.
Oh my God.
So as much as it's a hard conversation to have, once it's done, you put the will in a safe place in your home.
You can update it.
Yeah, you can always update it and then just move on to the next, the next.
You're covered. You're
exactly.
Covered. Yeah. And again, it's important if you don't have the will and God forbid something happens, because there are many cases of the parents, getting hit by, like just the other day, a couple got killed. They passed a red light, gone.
Yes.
So it's important to protect your kids, because if you don't have that will, what can happen?
Well, the children may end up with people you really don't want to have the kids watched by. Also, you want to be
like the state might take the kids if the grandparents
Well, depending if there's no family.
Right.
Okay. And also the money, you can dictate at what age you want your children to receive the money. You could have a trust in place, and you can have a trustee, someone that will manage the money and be responsible. The guardian, the trustee can be all the same person, but you may want a guardian for your children to care for your child, but that person may not be responsible for money. You may have a best friend that's a finance guy who you want to make sure that he's handling all the money, so the kids have a lot more when they're in their 20s or 30s when you want them to receive it. Yeah. You may want them to receive the money in stages, some at 21, some at 25, at 30.
Well, Maria has given us some very good advice here today. I hope you all take advantage of it. And if you don't have a will, definitely get one. Now you guys know what to do if you have a problem and you get hurt on the job. It's just basically call out to an attorney. Don't be afraid to ask questions and never be embarrassed. to, you know, say, hey, I'm hurt when you're hurt. And don't think, as tough as a topic as it is, you need to come to terms with the fact that if you have property, you need to protect yourself and your family with it, with the will and estate attorney. Maria, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Where can someone find you if they wanted to ask some more questions or come see you?
I'm located at 22-15 31st Street in Astoria.
And the website?
It's mariapalaimo@aol.com.
Thank you so much.